Now on CoastTV News.
Frosty conditions to start the week with freeze warnings and frost advisories along the coast. Otherwise, the dry weather continues with a work week warm-up. Your forecast details coming up next.
Early voting in Delaware is underway, and I have all the information you need to know if you don't want to wait to vote until November 5th.
Deciding Delaware's new governor, that is one of the races on the ballot. We will hear from both Democrat Matt Meyer and Republican Mike Ramone.
Debating Milford marijuana, the next step taking place tonight to bring recreational sales in the city.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paige Marley. It's October 28th, 2024.
And Paige, Get ready. Get ready, everybody.
Yeah.
Here we go. Final days of October, final days of the campaign season. A lot going on in these couple of days.
It is. It's an exciting time. I know a lot of people get stressed during this time, but I think it's just exciting.
Don't be stressed. I'm with you on the excitement part. We have a lot going on. You got your Halloween
Look.
ensemble. I was.
Well, I told you someone earlier said, "Oh, you look like a pumpkin."
And I wouldn't take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I'm giving pumpkin for sure, but I look like a pumpkin.
I mean, it's a pumpkin color, but I would never say you look like a pumpkin, Paige.
At least they didn't say I look like a jack-o'-lantern. That might be worse.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, I don't know. It's a little awkward. Bob's laughing at me, Bob. Were you thinking I looked like a pumpkin this morning?
No. I'm laughing with you, Paige. Of course. No. I mean, you have pumpkin colors. Maybe you're a fan of Syracuse, the Orangemen. I don't know. But no, you're fine. We're looking at chilly conditions. It's frosty out there. Hard freeze in Delmarva, 29, 28 in Renton, 33 in Milton. I just checked in Millsboro, 31 there, 32 in Georgetown. So hard freeze inland. Not so right along the immediate coast, 40 in Bethany Beach, 43 in Rehoboth right now. As we have calm conditions, it's a freeze warning inland, Sussex County. And right along the coast, it is a frost advisory, but right at the beach, we're not seeing frosty conditions. And then the rest of Delmarva, pretty much a freeze warning. And then around the Easton Cambridge area, you have a frost advisory. We're looking at clear skies out there right now. It's high pressure, keeping us high and dry, and that will provide lots of sunshine today. Frosty start. Leave extra time to get to work or school. Scrape the windshield, bundle up the kids, all that good stuff. And then warming up close to 60 by noon, and then lower 60s by the afternoon, and then 50s for your evening hours. For the bus stop forecast, you see that little stop sign. Make sure you stop for the kiddos. Off to school, 32. Make sure they're bundled up. It is frosty. Then heading home, 62. Not as bad, sunny, and on the cool side.
Thank you, Bob. And it is just over a week until Election Day. But if you live in Delaware or Maryland, you don't need to wait until November 5th to cast your vote.
You do not. CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in Ellendale. It's one of the many early voting sites in Sussex County. Elisa, you asked people there why they chose to cast their vote early.
Yeah, Matt and Paige, it's hard to believe that the election is in 8 days, and I'm here in Ellendale at one of the many early voting sites here in Sussex County. And actually, there are 9 sites in Sussex County where you can vote. And on Friday, October 25th, early voting began in the entire state of Delaware, and many people came out to the polls. According to the NBC election data in Delaware, a total of 65,338 mail-in and early in-person votes have been cast. Some choose to vote early in order to beat the rush on November 5th, or they simply can't wait any longer. Until October 29th, polls are open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and from October 30th to November 3rd, the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. A little later on, we're going to hear from someone who decided to come out and early vote this year. And if you're interested in early voting, check out the CoastTV.com to see a full list of sites in Delaware. And the last day to early vote in Delaware is November 3rd. Back to you.
Lisa Weber, thank you for that. Now, there have been a lot of questions about early voting, so to answer some, we have information from the Department of Elections in Delaware. The law in the state does not require photo ID to vote. Poll workers will ask you to show proof of ID. If you don't show ID but are in the correct polling place or early voting site, the worker will check a poll list, and then the voter must fill out a form called affirmation of identity. And if you've been sent an absentee ballot but show up to vote, your absentee ballot will then be canceled.
Now, as for the eastern shore of Maryland in Wycomico County, people can cast their vote at First Baptist Church or the Civic Center. In Worcester, it's the OC Convention Center. And then for our Dorchester County viewers, just head to Dorchester Election Office. Now, we do have a full list of polling places and early voting rules right now, so you can stay updated. Just go to CoastTV.com.
In just over a week, we should know who the next governor in Delaware will be. Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer is the Democratic nominee. State House Minority Leader Michael Ramone, the Republican. And Coast TV news anchor Charlie Sakita sat down with both candidates in the lead up to the election. We have a small snippet here from those interviews.
Sussex County is being left out and left behind of equal funding from Dover and equal attention.
I'm not here about red. I'm not here about blue. You see everything I have. It's always yellow, right? Yellow's my thing. I'm not even purple. Yellow's Delaware.
Later this morning, you will hear these gubernatorial candidates share their thoughts on offshore wind.
And make sure you tune in to Coast TV for our preview week coverage. We'll be airing exclusive candidate interviews focusing on races that'll impact us here on Delmarva. So again, our Decision 2024 preview week continues today. Right now, though, we're going to go take a live look at New York City. Only a few hours ago, presidential candidate Donald Trump on the campaign trail held a rally there at Madison Square Garden.
As for Vice President Kamala Harris, she focused on Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. That's a state Trump visited on Saturday.
Yep, and NBC's Alice Barr shows us as polling is razor thin right now as the race in battleground states continues.
In the final full week before Election Day, the presidential nominees are going big. Former President Trump headlining a packed rally at Madison Square Garden in New York.
You got to get out and vote.
Vice President Harris all in Philadelphia.
No one can sit on the sidelines.
Looking to boost turnout in the city of brotherly love, the vice president appealed to black voters from a church congregation to a barber shop and met with Latino voters at a Puerto Rican restaurant.
The path to victory runs through Philly, and it runs through Pennsylvania, and it runs through all of you.
That amid condemnation over a comedian's opening act at the Trump New York rally calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. The Trump campaign saying the joke does not reflect his views. The former president joined many of the speakers in stepping up the rhetoric against Vice President Harris, degrading her intelligence and repeating a controversial attack line against his perceived opponents.
They've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within. And
the former president also announced a new policy proposal.
I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one.
Vice President Harris is pushing to expand Medicare to cover long-term in-home care.
We are a new generation of leadership that is optimistic and excited about what our nation can do together.
The nominees beginning their final pitch to voters as the clock winds down. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And happening today, those who live in Milford will have the opportunity to give their input on a proposed amendment to the city ordinance dealing with marijuana. It's going to be during a public hearing tonight at the city council meeting. Milford is considering allowing recreational marijuana sales. The clock is ticking on this. The open retail category marijuana license lottery is expected to take place in November.
In Lewis today, we should get more information on the plans for the Army Reserve Center located on Savannah Road. It's one of a couple of proposed projects getting a look at by Mayor Andrew Williams and the City Council. They will also review plans for Schley Avenue and City Hall. Long-awaited project in Fenwick Island making progress. According to the town, the North Channel dredging, it's done, and South Channel work is underway. Dredging is expected to be complete in December.
Sussex County is considering a 3% tax on short-term rentals. The council is set to hear a presentation from Finance Director Gina Jennings about this on Tuesday. This would be for things like Airbnbs, specifically in unincorporated areas of the county, so this would not be downtown. Many towns, though, already have something like this in place. A 3% lodging tax ordinance was previously imposed in 2019, but it was suspended during COVID-19.
Today, Sussex Tech High School continues preparations for the groundbreaking ceremony of its new building. You can see over my shoulder here the plans for the remodel. A ceremony will be held on October 29th at 4 p.m. That's rain or shine.
Heads up, people who use the Junction and Breakwater Trail. Happening now, that trail is closed at Holland Glade Road. This is to complete sidewalk improvements on that road. According to officials, that closure is expected to last 7 to 10 days.
Happening tonight, Game 3 of the World Series and the first of this year's Fall Classic in Yankee Stadium. The Yankees trail 2-0. They attempt to get back into it after losing the first 2 games in Los Angeles. First pitch is set for some time after 8 p.m.
All right, we're just getting started this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, today we are thanking those who answer the call in our communities. On National First Responders Day, we have a focus on one area that is often overlooked.
Also ahead this morning, Georgetown could impose some regulations on your rights in the name of safety, why its police chief says these changes are necessary.
And help for the holiday season when people can get a first-hand look inside the Milford Food Bank as it seeks new volunteers. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Are you looking to transform your mobile home? Choosing a company that doesn't know the difference between a manufactured and a stick-built home can lead to major repairs in the future. At Delaware Mobile Home Repair, we work exclusively with manufactured homes. So whether you need your bathroom remodeled, new roofing, siding, or any other restoration or renovation on your mobile home, the team at Delaware Mobile Home Repair will get the job done right. Visit our website today and start your free estimate with Delaware Mobile Home Repair.
Prince George's County politician Angela Alsobrooks may live near D.C., but she'd bring tons of baggage. Nearly 2 decades of illegal tax breaks, $59,000 in back taxes, and thousands in unpaid bills. A sweetheart tax deal, typical politician. Slumlord Alsobrooks? Records show she was caught operating an illegal rental property. With so much baggage, how can we trust Alsobrooks to represent us? Maryland's Future is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Don't miss the 8th Annual Delaware Resorts 55 Plus Expo, Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Cape Henlopen High School. Admission is free. Explore the area's most successful health and wellness companies, realtors, retirement communities, physical therapy firms, senior services, financial services, home products and services, all designed for the 55 plus community. Stop by for free flu shots and free health screenings provided by BB Healthcare. Some exhibitors offer expo specials and door prizes. There's something for everyone and all ages are welcome. The Delaware Resorts 55 Plus Expo. Don't miss it.
Hey Delaware, Bet Rivers and Valley Casino are bringing betting on football to your phone. From props and in-game betting to the spread and the money line, it's all on your phone and it's all a touchdown. Plus, right now when you sign up, you'll get a second chance bet of up to $500. So huddle up Delaware with Bet Rivers, Valley Casino, and football on your phone. Download the app today.
6:12 on this frosty Monday morning. Milford, you're seeing frosty conditions on the Bay Health Cam right now, and we're in the 20s and low 30s, so it's a frost and hard freeze inland areas, but 40s along the coast, keeping you frost-free as we're looking at calm conditions. Freeze warning inland areas until 9 a.m., and then a frost advisory along the immediate coast. So basically, everybody inland has a freeze warning until 9 a.m., with the exception of Easton back through Cambridge. You have a frost advisory through 9 o'clock. It is a frosty morning. Make sure you have the ice scraper, warm up the car, bundle up the kids, and off to the bus stop. It's going to be a chilly one as we have high pressure in place right now and clear skies. Here's your ferry riding forecast. It will be a chilly one with temperatures in the 40s and 50s and a cool light breeze this morning with sunshine and temperatures by noon into the upper 50s.
Happening today, the Delaware Department of Education and the National Guard, they're teaming up to offer teenagers a chance to get a GED. Organizers say the Youth Challenge Program is a highly structured military-style approach. This combines education with mentorship, and those promoting it says it is meant for at-risk youth. An information session on this is today at 11 a.m. at the Georgetown Readiness Center. Tuition, room, and meals are provided. Food Bank of Delaware is asking for volunteers to support its Healthy Pantry Center in Milford. That is where open houses are scheduled for this week. People attending the open houses will get a behind-the-scenes look. They'll learn about various volunteer roles and hear inspiring stories about the impact of their contributions. The open houses will be held on Wednesday, October 30th, and then again on Thursday, October 31st.
Spirit Airlines has announced a new plan to sell some older planes and cut some jobs. Spirit Airlines said it will be selling 23 of its older Airbus aircraft starting this month, which Spirit estimates will bring in about $519 million. But Spirit also said it plans on cutting about $80 million in annual costs by a reduction in workforce. Delta is now suing CrowdStrike after computer problems led to a nearly week-long service outage and thousands of canceled flights over the summer. In its lawsuit, Delta said that CrowdStrike committed a series of intentional and grossly negligent acts that caused the global IT outage on July 19th. Now, CrowdStrike says Delta's claims are based on misinformation. They say the airline is trying to shift blame for its slow recovery from that outage. We'll see what happens. All right, still coming up this morning, Georgetown set to discuss some regulations to panhandling in the name of safety. What changes the police chief says could be in store for the town.
We're seeing starry skies, chilly conditions in Ocean View this morning. 39 degrees, probably frost-free there, but inland it's a freeze, and it's frosty conditions for Delmarva. We're looking at a chilly day today and then a warm-up as we go through the week ahead. Looking really warm for Halloween and more dry weather to come. A slight chance of rain. I'll let you know when that occurs or could happen with your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Listen to Big 107.7, Delmarva's classic rock station.
Life is full of little moments. Joyous laughter. Playful dancing. Bright smiles. Never miss a moment. Built for brighter days. Shell Brothers Homes.
My dad, Mike Ramone, is a different kind of public servant. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. But I know from my own experience how much he cares about everyone. He's a great father and grandfather. You can see how much their futures matter to him. And he has the same passion for your kids' future. He's focused on fixing our schools and getting teachers and students the resources they need. What I can promise is he'll be a great governor for all of Delaware.
18 years ago, we founded Community Bank Delaware with the goal of providing high-quality banking services to our local community. Here you meet with decision makers, people just like you who live in and love this community. We provide the newest banking technologies to our customers, supported by our local team of banking professionals. Our bank serves clients throughout Sussex County, and we continue to grow, all thanks to you. Community Bank Delaware, where community matters.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Right now, pet dander, skin cells, mold spores, pollen, and dirt are being sucked into your air ducts. Get cleaner air and system efficiency now with Stanley Steamer. For over 75 years, we've continually engineered our equipment and processes to deep clean your entire home. Your air ducts aren't clean until they're Stanley Steamer clean.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Time is 6:18, and we're getting a live look now at Lewis. Not much of a breeze there this morning. You can tell by the flagpoles, not much activity going on. That could be a good thing, Bob, is we have a very cold start to the morning.
Very cold, and anytime you see those light winds, especially along the coast and high pressure, clear skies, that means we're seeing cold conditions. The first frost and hard freeze of the season is this morning. 28 in Delmar, 32 in Georgetown. Just checked in Millsboro. It's not showing, but it's around 30 there, 28 in Redden, 32 in Milton, 40 Bethany Beach, 43 in Rehoboth. So we're looking at milder conditions along the coast. We're not seeing a frost there. A little bit of a breeze as well. Inland areas, we're seeing calm conditions, and we have a freeze warning until 9 a.m., pretty much away from the coast for everybody in Delmarva. Along the coast, a frost advisory until mid-morning from Lewis down to Ocean View. But right along the immediate coast, we're looking at no frost. We're looking at a freeze warning continuing around Salisbury, Spring Grove, and Seaford, and then a frost advisory around the eastern area until mid-morning. The dry streak continues. We're now up to 31 days of dry weather. Last measurable rain, September 27th. The record is 34 days back in 2001. We are going to eclipse that right now in second place of the top 5 driest days. So there's the first one, 34 days back in 2001. So we are going to eclipse that for sure the next several days. We're looking at clear skies right now. And clear skies all across the mid-Atlantic and back into the Ohio Valley with high pressure in place, and that extends farther to the west, so the dry streak will continue with temperatures warming from the 30s into the 40s this morning. By noon, we're in the 50s and 60s, a little cooler at the beaches. By 2:30, I think we're in the low 60s away from the coast. Some beaches not getting out of the 50s. As we go through this evening and tonight, an easterly wind plus some clouds building in will keep us a little warmer into Tuesday morning with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. And we are looking at a partly cloudy Tuesday with temperatures into the low 70s from Berlin up to Millsboro and Seaford as well. And then moving into your Wednesday morning, could be a little foggy, but that will keep us a little warmer. Temperatures in the 50s. And then as we go into the afternoon, it's going to be warmer. Temperatures into the mid to upper 70s. We do have a little chance of rain, and that comes in on Friday with a cold front. Not a big chance, but maybe enough to break our dry streak. Maybe a little bit of measurable rain, but that's really our only chance the next several days. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 64 today, 41 Tuesday morning. Don't think we're looking at a frost there. 70 on Tuesday, 77 Wednesday. A warm Halloween, 80 degrees, back to 75 Friday, and then 60s this weekend. Remember, clocks go back 1 hour Sunday morning.
Bob, happening tonight, Georgetown, the latest community looking to make upgrades to pedestrian safety policy. And one of the specific areas expected to be addressed at the town council meeting is panhandling. It's a protected right. Georgetown's police chief says proposed changes will regulate where and how individuals can approach vehicles, primarily in the interest of public safety.
Similar activity down there, very busy with vehicles, and it's just not a place for people to just be hanging around. And we definitely don't want people stopping, and I'm talking about the pedestrians or the vehicles. We don't need them stopping and causing additional problems or potential for collisions.
Yeah, that Georgetown council meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m.
Coming up next on Coast TV News today, Sussex County is thanking first responders on National First Responders Day. We'll tell you just how important their jobs are.
When choosing a granite countertop, choose one for real life and beauty. No matter what life throws at them, they'll look beautiful forever. Ancient Art Stone invites you to discover the affordability of granite and upgrade your home to the beautiful works of art from Ancient Art Stone. Centrally located in Milford, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva to make your dreams a reality. Visit us and allow our devoted professionals to craft, fabricate, and install a superior finished product that will transform your home into a work of art.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, like myself in tile, to ensure that you have the best product to fit your needs, and that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your remodel.
I was able to look at everything that I was looking for my new kitchen, including the backsplash and the countertop and the sinks all in one place.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
Foul odors, discolored water. Are you running out of hot water more quickly? These are all signs of sediment buildup in your water heater. And as the buildup becomes more severe, it can even cause a premature tank failure. Flushing the tank periodically can prevent these problems. FH Fur has you covered. Get a water heater flush for $49. That's right, a complete water heater flush for only $49. Act now and get a plumbing inspection free.
877-CALL-FUR. FHFur.com.
Ever wonder what it's like being the first person to respond to an emergency? Of course, people like our police and firefighters, but there's also the first to answer the call. And today is National First Responders Day, and 911 operator Richard Short says operators are often overlooked.
So a 911 dispatcher is a stressful job, it's a thankless job, and the people that do it love it. I mean, they thrive on that interaction with the community. They are the first responders.
Not only is this a day to say thank you, but it is a day to learn about the different agencies that serve our communities. We are joined again by First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey. We have the sunshine again. Also a bit brisk out there.
Yeah, a little frosty, a little frost on the pumpkin this morning for sure. And then it does start to warm up as we go through time. Not really frosty at the beaches this morning, 40s in Chincoteague and Assateague. But by this afternoon, full sunshine, and you're right around 60 degrees. Farther up the coast, Fenwick Island, 39 to start, and then 60 later on, full sunshine. Around 60 in Ocean City as well. UV index is moderate. Waves, there's little itty-bitty waves around 1 to 2 feet. On the Bayside, you're chilly today in the 60s, but warming into the upper 70s by Wednesday in Cambridge. And in Crisfield, 63 today. And by Wednesday, you are into the lower 70s as we warm up even more into Halloween. The dry streak continues. We'll have much more on that and the frosty conditions this morning coming up in the next half hour.
Thank you, Bob. And after the break on CoastTV News today, both presidential candidates took on battleground states over the weekend. We'll show you what each focused on in the tri-state area.
Race heating up. We hear from both the candidates in Delaware as they respond to a controversial topic impacting the state's coast.
And early voting underway in the first state. We'll tell you why one voter says they prefer that option opposed to casting their vote on Election Day. CoastTV News today. We'll be right back.
Before I had my hearing loss treated at Mass Audiology, I had a hard time trying to participate in daily activities. Now I can hear.
If you're having trouble hearing, you should schedule a diagnostic hearing evaluation with an audiologist. If a hearing aid is necessary, the audiologist should prescribe a hearing aid and verify it using real ear measurements to ensure that it fits your needs. Call Mast Audiology and ask how Signia hearing aids can treat your hearing loss. To learn more information, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
We're bringing bright hope to Delaware by creating opportunity. As Secretary of Labor, I focused on preparing the workforce of tomorrow. And in Congress, I've worked to strengthen career and technical education. Jobs that might not require a four-year college degree, but do require skills. With jobs like these. Together, we can build the workforce of today and tomorrow. I'm Lisa Blunt Rochester, and I approve this message because our opportunities should be limitless.
Design a custom home that fits your unique style and budget with Accessible Home Builders. At Accessible, we provide you with a variety of customizable options to create the home of your dreams.
Accessible Builders provided us with a beautiful home.
Scott is full of ideas from his past experiences, and he really worked with us on all our custom asks and wants.
We would definitely recommend Accessible Builders.
Completely customize your dream home with Accessible Home Builders.
In 1925, a simple bank ledger began journaling the transactions of life in Willards, Maryland. New houses, barns, and farm equipment. Growing families and businesses both big and small. A record through time of hardship and prosperity. 100 years ago, the founding of the Farmers Bank of Willards was vital to the town. 100 years later, banking has changed, but the Farmers Bank remains steadfast in its original mission, keeping and reinvesting millions of dollars right here for the benefit of our communities.
Now on CoastTV News.
Frosty conditions to start the week with freeze warnings inland and frost advisories along the immediate coast this morning. Otherwise, the dry weather continues with a work week warm-up. Details coming up next.
Cast your vote early, everything that you need to know if you're looking to hit the polls before November 5th.
Meyer versus Ramon in the Delaware governor race. We're looking at both candidates who are vying for the top spot in the state.
City marijuana sales, that is moving closer towards a reality in Milford, and we look at where the effort stands for recreational weed.
This is CoastTV News Today.
October 28th, 2024. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Paige.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Paige Marley.
Time is 6:29, and we're making our way on a Monday. If you're just joining us, Paige's dress here, the color of it's been a topic of conversation. It's been compared to a pumpkin. I also threw out during the break, it could also be Philadelphia Flyer colors.
You know it's not. If you got excited, you know it's definitely not. No. What's that thing called? Isn't it Charlie Brown, like the Great Pumpkin?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, interesting. Okay. All right, well, Bob, what's up with you?
That could be Mets orange, too, by the way. And Islanders, yeah. But we won't talk about the color anymore. We'll talk about the frosty conditions. We'll talk about white frost, hard frost and freeze inland areas. First one of the season, 31 in Salisbury, 29 in Delmar, 32 in Georgetown, Millsboro right around 31 degrees with Milton 32. Frost rig along the coast. We've got 40s from Ocean City up to Rehoboth right now as we've got calm winds and high pressure overhead. That's why we have the frost and freeze. Freeze warning inland areas until 9 a.m. right along the immediate coast and a couple miles inland. It's a frost advisory from Lewis to Ocean View. That also goes farther south into Ocean City. And then we have inland areas of Delmarva under a freeze warning and right around the eastern area a frost advisory. So it's clear and cold this morning. Bundle everybody up out the door as we have high pressure in place. And with that dry air, we will warm up today. Here's today's checklist. Don't need the umbrella. Definitely need the heavy jacket this morning, the windbreaker this afternoon. Definitely need a warm beverage, maybe hot chocolate or coffee out the door, and the ice scraper. Make sure you know where that is. It's going to take a while to scrape the frost off, and make sure you have the sunglasses handy as well.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now, if you live in Delaware, you don't want to wait until November 5th to cast your vote. You are in luck.
And early voting is underway in the first state. Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in Ellendale. She's at one of the many early voting sites in Sussex County. And Elisa, you don't just have to go to Ellendale if you're looking to take part in early voting.
Yeah, Matt and Paige, it's hard to believe that the election is just 8 days away, and I'm currently here in Ellendale at one of the early voting sites, but there are 9 places in Sussex County where you can cast an early vote. And on Friday, October 25th, early voting began in the entire state of Delaware, and many people came out to the polls. According to the NBC election data in Delaware, a total of 65,338 mail-in and early in-person votes have been cast. Some choose to vote early in order to beat the rush on November 5th, or they simply can't wait any longer. Until October 29th, polls are open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. From October 30th to November 3rd, the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We asked one voter why they like the early voting option.
I think it's an excellent idea that everybody come out here, and there are quite a few people out here today, hundreds, to get an early kickstart on the election, which is probably one of the most crucial elections of our century.
If you're interested in early voting, you can head to CoastTV.com for a full list of sites in Delaware, and the last day that you can early vote is on November 3rd. Back to you.
Lisa Weber with the early voting story in Sussex County. And new this morning, President Biden set to participate in early voting in the Wilmington area. He will not be on the ballot after the decision to be removed from the Democratic ticket. According to the White House, President Biden will travel to Baltimore and Philadelphia later this week. Come November 5th, Delaware will select a new governor. The leader in the polls right now is Democrat Matt Meyer. Republican Michael Ramone is trying to close that gap. Coast TV sat down with each candidate to discuss a range of topics, one of those being offshore wind. We show you how both are responding to the controversial topic in Delaware's environmental future.
First and foremost, we're going to protect Delaware. We're going to protect Delaware residents and Delaware's interests. I know people are looking for, are you pro-wind or are you anti-wind, one or the other? I think it's really not that easy. The economics of wind right now, and particularly in the last few years, have become really challenging. We're not going to do something that economically does not make sense for Delawareans and to lead our community forward in a sustainable way. If there's a way for us to do it without impacting view sheds, without impacting the environment when the wind energy comes onshore, we certainly will look at that. We're not going to allow Maryland to get all the benefits of its offshore wind to come in and provide burdens to the coastline of Delaware.
Wind power is not a problem for me. Wind power, forcing people to drive EV cars, it's just chaos. There will be no secretaries putting mandates on people on what they can drive. There will be no states saying, that, well, you can't connect to my state, so go connect to the neighbor, and then we get all the headaches and all the terrible stuff, and they get all the energy. That's not me. That ain't happening. As an entrepreneur, the one thing I do know is how to negotiate a good deal and how to walk away from a bad one.
Tonight at 5, 6, and 11, Coast TV News anchor Charlie Sakaitis will have more on these two candidates hitting the state of the race, school vouchers, and their thoughts on Sussex County specifically. And make sure to tune in to Coast TV for our preview week coverage. We will air exclusive candidate interviews focusing on the races that impact us all here on Delmarva. Our Decision 2024 preview week continues today. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are looking to lock in votes with just over a week left until the general election. On the campaign trail, former President Trump held a rally at Madison Square Garden Sunday night. Trump making an appeal to Gen Z voters and Black and Latino men as he emphasizes the importance of voting.
Early voting is underway in every swing state, and we are setting all-time records. They're voting, I tell you what. I don't want to talk about it, but we have to keep it going. You got to get out and vote. We just have to get out.
And today, former President Trump's campaign will head to Georgia. Now, also, Vice President Kamala Harris spent Sunday making her claim in Philadelphia. According to officials, Harris also focused on Black and Latino voters while also pushing to increase voter turnout. Some of her campaign stops included speaking to a predominantly Black church, a barbershop, and a Puerto Rican restaurant.
And we know this is going to be a tight race until the very end. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work.
And Vice President Harris will be on the campaign trail today in an effort to hit every battleground state this week. Happening today in Milford, people there can have a say on a proposed amendment to the city ordinance dealing with marijuana. This will be during a public hearing at the city council meeting. Milford is considering allowing recreational sales. City, it's just one of the few on Delmarva actually open to the idea of allowing weed for that purpose. Clock is ticking on this. The open retail category marijuana license lottery, that's expected to take place in December. In Lewis today, we should get more information on the plans for the Army Reserve Center. It's located on Savannah Road. It's one of a couple proposed projects getting a look at by Mayor Andrew Williams and the City Council. They will also review plans for Schley Avenue and City Hall. We have an update on a story that we've been covering. It's about that 3% tax on short-term rentals in Sussex County. County Council set to hear a presentation from Finance Director Gina Jennings about this on Tuesday. This would be for things like Airbnbs, specifically in unincorporated areas of the county, meaning not in downtown areas. Several communities already have this in place. Now, a 3% lodging tax ordinance, that was previously imposed in 2019, and then it became suspended during COVID-19. Still got a lot more to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere, including a new development in the works in Georgetown. We'll show you what the community thinks about adding 126 rental homes along Route 9. Also, Daniels delivers. We have that Hail Mary pass that was the game winner for Washington. And as Halloween approaches, the Brandywine Valley SPCA wants pet owners to costume with care. We'll tell you what the organization recommends to keep pets safe this Halloween season. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Wow, it's so much bigger than you realize. East Coast Tile and Flooring has the largest selection of tile from around the world. And they are the only Dow Tile Premier showroom on the shore. They have the knowledge and expertise to assist architects, designers, and homeowners, and are fully licensed to take on any job from start to finish. Family owned and operated since 1947. Call East Coast Tile and Flooring today for a design consultation.
There are many details that shouldn't be overlooked when buying or selling your coins. Mint mark, date, and condition are all factors in determining a coin's value. Don't get ripped off. Find someone reputable who can answer your questions and pay you top dollar on the spot. Look to see if they broadcast current values live and if they use Graysheet for determining your coin's value.
To learn more about Robinson's family of businesses, the coin and jewelry experts, visit Delmarva Experts on WBOC.com.
No strangers here, just friends you haven't met yet. With comfortable outdoor seating and an authentic Irish bar, Irish Eyes in Milton is a local favorite by the Broadkill River. Irish Eyes in Lewis with ample free parking, a gorgeous waterfront patio, extensive menu favorites, and the best happy hour on the water. Book our Lewis room for all of life's celebrations. With a lovely panoramic view, in-house chef, and a professional team to make your next event one to remember. Find out more at irisheyespub.com.
Are you tired of your old and dirty floors? Your living room looks like it survived a piñata party with 100 kids? Don't worry, Matt the Carpet Guy is the flooring hero.
Here you find a great selection of vinyl flooring and carpets in stock at the best price. With LVP starting at $1.99 a square foot, we're a family business working with contractors, installers, and do-it-yourselfers.
Don't worry, Matt the Carpet Guy is the flooring hero.
Flooring done right.
Just about 6:40 on this cold Monday morning. 39 in Lewis on the Tunnel and Razor Cam inland areas. It's a frost and freeze. We're in the 20s and low 30s. And frost free along the beaches with temperatures in the 40s. So leave extra time to scrape the frost, warm up the car, bundle up the kids. Winds are calm. We have a freeze warning inland, a frost advisory along the coastal areas. Also a frost advisory around east and otherwise. It's a freeze warning for everybody else as we're looking at clear skies. And with the clear skies and sunshine after a frosty start, we will warm up this afternoon. Here's our drive cast. Yeah, leave extra time on the morning commute to scrape the ice. And for the afternoon commute, much better. We're looking at a green light, sunny and cool conditions, highs in the low 60s.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Ocean City's fire department grew this weekend. A ribbon cutting was held Sunday for the new Midtown Fire Station on 65th Street. This leaves a bittersweet feeling in the community as this event marks the closing of Station 3 on 74th Street. Halloween is Thursday, and while it's super fun for some, it may not be super fun for your pet. The Brandywine Valley SPCA says Halloween hype may cause stress, so maybe put your pets in a quiet room. Also make sure that candy you get while trick-or-treating is kept away from your animals. And don't automatically dress them up. It's not for all animals, and you got to make sure that costume is comfortable and also allows your pet to move freely.
Despite the turmoil, despite the concerns and questions about Nick Sirianni, the Eagles have won 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5. On Sunday, Jalen Hurts doing it in the air, a bit on the ground against the Bengals. This game was tied at 10 at halftime, and then early third quarter, Hurts gets it to the edge and gets into the end zone, and the Eagles take a 17-10 lead after the Bengals tied it up. We go to Hurts again. He's loading it up. Perfect placement. Watch this to Devontae Smith. Eagles back in front, 24-14. Hurts, he had a couple of tush pushes, too. 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing on the day for QB1. Eagles are now 5-2, and they are back at home with Jacksonville next week.
Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown! Oh, my goodness!
Unbelievable win by the Burgundy and Gold. Jaden Daniels back from injury, delivers the Hail Mary pass. Folks, Washington, 6-2 on the season. They have sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Let's go to Cleveland. Ravens defense, they were carved up by the Browns. Jameis Winston, a big example right here. This touchdown pass with under a minute to go. Ravens' last-second effort comes up short. The Ravens are now 5-3, and they fall out of first place in the AFC North. Coming up tonight on DSN at 6, high school girls volleyball. Cape will take on Lake Forest. Then at 10, it's post-time harness racing. At 10:30, it's the final score. Over on the DSN Plus app, you can watch that Cape Lake Forest volleyball match. And then here are your DSN Plus exclusives. Starting at 3:30, it's Delaware High School field hockey. That's when Sussex Central hosts Milford. At 6, Caesar Rodney takes on Appoquinimink in unified football. Also at 6 p.m., Parkside home with Queen Anne's. That is in girls volleyball.
Hope you all had a great weekend. Here's what's coming up Monday at 4 on Coast Life. We're not done celebrating. I know over the weekend there was Sea Witch, but now we're talking the Grateful Shell-abration. And of course, Monday, that usually means our joke jar. And even though some Halloween festivities are over, Halloween safety is still top of mind with the big day coming up soon. So we are talking to local police about how to keep you and your family safe. All that and more Monday at 4 on Coast Life.
We're seeing a gorgeous sunrise on the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Camp. Frosty and Laurel right now, 29 degrees. In case you missed it earlier, our umbrella winner is Jerry Geyer from Ellendale. Congratulations to him from Paul Davis and Coast TV. We're looking at a chilly start to the week and then warming up and really warm for Halloween. More dry weather to come. A slight chance for rain. Your forecast details in 2 minutes.
Listen to Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. We're Delmarva proud.
These battles are gonna blow the roof off this place. It was a couple of moments where I thought I caught the gangster Holy Ghost.
Why don't you ask the gangster Holy Ghost to speak through you?
He giving me mixed signals.
The Voice, new tonight on NBC and Peacock.
They cast a spell to get pregnant together. We're dealing with witches, and their bodies are now all cursed and getting sicker by the minute.
It is a once-in-a-lifetime case.
Brilliant Minds, tonight on NBC and Peacock.
Has your kitchen remodel been on the back burner?
Move it forward now and take advantage of our biggest kitchen sale of the year.
Paul Davis can restyle your kitchen for half the cost of a traditional kitchen remodel. Get all new doors, drawers, and hardware without any major demolition. And the best part is, it's done in as little as 3 days.
We'll bring the showroom to you as soon as tomorrow and give you an estimate that day.
Call now to get $1,500 off, plus free hardware and no payments, no interest for 12 months. Call Paul Davis.
The restoration and remodeling experts.
Delaware Electric Cooperative is committed to helping the communities that we are proud to power. We offer the lowest electric rates in the state and give millions of dollars in rebates to members during the holiday season. Each year, we offer hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding to local nonprofits. Safety programs teach students how to be safe around electrical equipment. And through educational opportunities and scholarships, we are empowering the next generation of co-op members. DEC is proud to keep the lights on, but prouder still to invest in the communities we serve.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
As temperatures drop, FH Fur invites you to be part of something truly heartwarming, our Fall into Comfort Toy Drive. Through December 15th for only $29, the experts at FH Fur will perform a comprehensive heating system inspection, ensuring your home stays snug through the chilly months ahead. The best part? 100% of the proceeds will go to the United States Marine Corps Reserve's Toys for Tots. Schedule your heating inspection today with FH Fur.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
On your Monday, we're going to go now take a live look at Laurel. And Bob, I think, is this the same camera? It was shaking a lot the other day, or maybe even this morning because of the wind. But are we going to see that wind other places?
No, and I think it's maybe a vibration thing, not necessarily with the wind page, but maybe something else. But no worries, no earthquakes. It is frosty in Laurel right now, around 29 degrees, and it's a frost and hard freeze away from the coast. This morning around Millsboro, you're 31, 32 in Georgetown, Redden 28, Delmar 28 degrees, 31 in Salisbury. A little milder at the beaches, 44 in Rehoboth, 40 Bethany Beach, 47 in Ocean City. So right along the immediate coast, you're frost free, but then you move inland a little bit, and that's where you have the frost and the freeze as well. A little bit of a breeze along the coast. It is a freeze warning inland areas until 9 a.m. Along the coast, we're looking at a frost advisory until 9 a.m. from around Lewis down to Ocean View, and then down to Ocean Pines and Ocean City as well. And then from Snow Hill to Salisbury, Nanacoke up to Cambridge, you're looking at a freeze warning until 9. And right around the eastern area, we are looking at a frost advisory through mid-morning. So it is a frosty morning, and the drought conditions continue. We're now up to 31 days. Can you believe not a drop of rain for the month of October? We're going to end the month with not a drop of rain. Well, we had a few sprinkles last week, but nothing measurable. The last measurable was on September 27th, and the record is 34 days. Back in 2001, we are going to eclipse that as we go through the week. We are now in second on the top 5 driest periods. There we are right there. Number 1 is 34 days from October through November of 2001. And this is in Georgetown. So this goes back to 1945. So this is a long-standing record that will fall here in the next few days. Otherwise, it's dry. The afternoons is the elevated fire danger. So no burning, even though it has cooled off with the frosty conditions. We're clear with high pressure building in from the Ohio Valley. Look at that. Even some snowflakes across New England. Not going to see that. We're just very dry over us and then back to the west. Here's Futurecast this morning after that frosty start in the 30s. By mid-morning, it's frost-free. We're into the 40s and 50s at the beaches. By noon, 59 in Millsboro, 58 in Ellendale, 60 in Berlin, and 50s along the coast. And I think we will get into the lower 60s inland areas, 50s at the beaches. Now, as we go through tonight, not as chilly. I think we'll see an easterly wind kick in and also some clouds increase by Tuesday morning. So that will keep us us a little warmer, low 40s inland and then 50s, maybe even 60s at the beaches as we go into tomorrow morning. And then Tuesday, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds and upper 60s and low 70s for highs. As we go into tomorrow evening, it will be cool. Could be a little foggy by a Wednesday morning. That will keep temperatures a little milder in the 40s and 50s, and then much milder as we go into Wednesday afternoon. We're looking at temperatures into the mid to upper 70s inland and then 60s and 70s at the beaches, and not too bad heading into Wednesday evening. Now, there is a little window, a little opportunity for rain, and that's on Friday with the cold front. Now, this rain could fall apart before it gets here, but it's possible we could see some measurable rain, very light on Friday, and then we're just dry again as we head into the weekend. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 64 today. Then we're frost-free, really, until further notice. 70 Tuesday, a mix of sun and clouds. Wednesday, 77, and then for the ghosts and goblins, they don't have to layer up. It's going to be warm, 80 degrees on Thursday, and then falling through the 70s and 60s for trick-or-treating. Mild on Friday, 75, and then this weekend, 64 Saturday. Remember, clocks go back 1 hour as daylight saving time ends Sunday morning, but we keep it dry into the weekend, 69 on Sunday.
Thank you. Another proposed development off Route 9 is in the works. The Georgetown Planning Commission, they very recently approved the preliminary site plan for a new development off East Market Street. Officials there say that the project's been decades in the making, and CoastTV News reporter Ana Sofia Roman shows us the history behind the project and what some people who live in this area think about it.
This farm field off Route 9 in Georgetown could be the location of a new development. Greenlee Place will hold 126 single-family home rental units targeted towards Sussex County's workforce. Andrea Finkbeiner, who lives right next to the proposed development, says for her, it is a great project. But she is worried about traffic.
When you add in the 126 homes times 2 vehicles per home, you're talking almost, 250 more cars accessing Route 9. And I know that they're all not at the same time, but with us not being able to get out now, especially at 5 to 6 at night, I think it's going to be an issue.
John Jones, managing partner at Greenlee Place LLC, says this idea has been 75 years in the making.
My grandfather had the parcel of land located inside of Georgetown on Route 9, surveyed and laid out for single-family homes back in the 1950s. And he was never able to fully develop the parcel.
According to Jones, the homes will range between 2 to 4 bedrooms and have a specific target in mind.
We envision, folks that, again, may not necessarily have the means to purchase their first home to have the ability. That might be traveling nurses that are going to be here in the area for the next couple of years, or doctors.
El Patron Barbershop, which just opened, is right across the street. Everardo Garcia, one of the owners, is optimistic this project will create a new opportunity and maybe even some new customers.
It's great news for our community, as obviously we would have more housing opportunities and it would benefit businesses like ours.
Following a recommendation from the Georgetown Planning Commission, the developer told CoastTV News that they reached out to the local fire department to discuss and understand issues related to servicing the growing community. In Georgetown, Ana Sofia Roman, CoastTV News.
It is now 6:53, and it's time to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's coastal pet of the day, a very playful cat. On your screen right now, Baker Meowfield. Wait a minute, Matt, I'm getting some intel. Is that perhaps your cat?
That's my cat.
That is Baker Meowfield. Who submitted this cat?
This catnip-loving feline is even quicker on his feet than his namesake, Baker Mayfield. Mr. Meowfield was submitted to us by a family in Milton. Could perhaps be the Pensick family. I'm thinking maybe one of your sons submitted that photo.
Mine's a Schmonner.
Connor, one of those sons. We do want to see all your pets on Delmarva. Keep sending us photos. Tell us what makes your pets so special. On your screen is that QR code. Just scan that, and you can submit your furry friends to us, CoastTV News, and watch weekdays 5 to 7. You'll see all the pets we feature.
Very cute play on words there. We are looking at, well, increasing light and cold conditions in Lewis right now. 38 degrees, a frosty start inland and a hard freeze. But we will start to warm things up as we go through time this week and looking really warm for Halloween. And yeah, more dry weather to come, unfortunately. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next. Stay tuned.
As a math teacher, Matt Meyer knows that Delaware's tax system isn't adding up. So he has a plan to fix it. Give middle-class families a tax cut, invest in schools, and lower costs. But Mike Ramone's plan gives tax breaks to the ultra-rich, which could cut education by nearly $175 million. Matt Meyer knows these numbers don't add up. He'll make state taxes fair so families can get ahead. Vote Matt Meyer for governor.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
Fall's the time to give your lawn the attention it deserves. The cooler weather and optimal soil conditions make it the perfect time for overseeding and fertilizing. Visit Johnson's knowledgeable staff for proper steps using our lawn checklist to allow newly seeded grass to establish before the harsh winter arrives. Our grass seed is formulated for sandy soil on the eastern shore containing no inert matter. Also, don't forget to create your fall masterpiece at our Dunbar or grab supplies to feed your feathered friends. Johnson's Seed and Feed, your local team to keep your grass green.
Tacoma has a dominant legacy as America's favorite small pickup for almost 2 decades. Known for reliability and capability. Now buy a Tacoma with low 4.99 APR or lease an SR for $279 a month.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
Approaching 6:57, you got a quick look at your forecast before you head out the door. It's late October, Bob, but temperature-wise, it feels like Christmas.
Don't forget your chapstick.
Yeah.
Make sure you have the ice scraper handy, but then it'll warm up this afternoon. Whoa. We're looking at temperatures into the low 60s. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast, looking at a warm up as we go through the next several days. We're looking at 70 as we go into Tuesday, 77 on Wednesday, Halloween Thursday, 80 degrees, Friday 75, and then the weekend cools down. Clocks go back an hour Sunday morning, and then skipping ahead to Election Day, looking at 74 and partly cloudy and still dry, maybe a slight chance of rain on Friday.
Ooh, we need that rain, Bob. Thank you, and thank you all for joining us on Coast TV News today. Today's show's coming up next at 7, and we'll be back with Coast TV midday, so stick around. Have a great day, everybody.